furthest ever trip south for Redcar. Roll those credits. Good morning everyone, and welcome to a new video on the channel. Do please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And thanks for your incredible support this season. Had another 1,000 views plus for our recent Workington video. That's after 2,000 plus against Bury. Really loving all of the viewing figures this season. Alright, on to the matter in hand. It is Saturday the 15th of August. And today, Redcar Athletic will be travelling south that they've ever travelled for any match ever in their history. They travel down to Leicestershire to face Quorn in the Northern Premier League Premier Division. So, let's head down to Leicester and find out what on earth is going on. So here we are in Quorn, and coming into today's game, Redcar Athletic have 4 points from their opening 2 games in the Northern Premier League Premier Division, and of course last season they won the Northern Premier League Division 1 East. Quorn have got 0 points unfortunately from their opening 2 games, but last season they finished 1 point off a playoff spot in the Southern League Premier Central Division, which means they were only 1 place away from a playoff for promotion for League 2. Unfortunately for the home side, they've been badly affected by the change of league because they're on the borderline with Midlands and Northern teams. It meant they were switched out of the Southern League to the Northern Premier for this season, which is a lot more travelling for them. And as a result of that, they've lost about 75 to 80% of their squad that weren't able to commit to the additional travelling in the Northern Premier League. So they're very much in a rebuild phase at the moment. And obviously they'll be looking to get their season back on track after a 5-0 home defeat to Cleethorpes in midweek. So let's head in to Quorn FC, the Methodists as they're known, and see how it all pans out. So here we are at the entrance to the Farley Way Stadium. So here we are with our first look at the Farley Way Stadium, which as you can probably see is a 3G surface. And we've got a covered stand that runs pretty much the entire length of the field. On the other side of the pitch, it's the Upton Steel stand. Behind this goal, we've got covered terracing that runs again the entire length behind the goal, where you come in through the turnstiles. In the corner, we've got a scoreboard, which as you can see is operational, and that's also where the snack bar is. Let's just give you a quick heads up of the Quorn FC menu. There you go, the usual football fare. And then on this side of the ground, you've got the dressing room complex, and just sort of uncovered standing and the dugouts. And that's the pitch side view. There's the dugout. And this is the clubhouse at Quorn, which as you can see has got a selection of historic photos, as is sort of quite usual. And it's got a little sort of serving hatch kitchen and then main bar, TV in the corner, usual setup. And now it's time for today's programme review from Quorn FC. It's a 40-page issue for £2.50, and it's full colour glossy, as you can see, with a photo of a player on the cover. Inside we've got Welcome to Farley Way, an editorial. Then from the dugout, obviously manager's comments. And then over the page we've got Visiting the Village Today, Redcar Athletic. The Opposition, Redcar Athletic. Classic Campaigns. In Reserve, obviously about the second team. A feature on the non-league paper. In fact, I think I've missed a couple of pages. Yeah, loan signing approved. The non-league paper feature. The Other Side of the Lens, some photos, match by match in the centre pages with a team photo. Join our social network. New kit launch. A couple of ads. Mount Sorrel Amateurs and With the Youngsters. History of Quorn FC and Meet the Players again. Under 23 champions and cover star. Rewind, a feature on their midweek game against Cleethorpes. Facts and figures, and the teams on the back. This is without doubt the best programme we've seen so far this season. Going to give this 9.5 out of 10. The teams are coming out here at Farley Way, and Quorn wearing their regular home kit of all red with a white stripe down the side, and Redcar Athletic in their change kit of all light blue today. And there's two changes from the win at Workington. Andre Ardeline comes into the side, as does Lewis Hawkins for Oscar Fletcher and Adam Boyes. And we're underway here at Farley Way. So Nathan Guru throwing on this near side, plays it in, and held by Jake Laban in the home goal. Aaron Banks with a driving run and goes for goal, and wide of the target. Banks to Johnson. Owen Burns goes for goal, and it's parried and held at the second attempt by Jake Laban. So a free kick to Redcar inside the Quorn half in an incident that saw the Quorn captain Mason Frizzell pick up the first yellow card of the game. And it's going to be Kieran Banks, set piece duty. Fires it up, and there's a flag up. Uplift. Johnson. And Ardalian, and hits the post. And takes a nick, so it goes out for a corner. The first corner of the game for the Steelmen, going to be taken by Banks. Fired in, and punch clear, only as far as Bartliff. And the home side clear the danger. Bartliff. Banks. Johnson. And Bojang gets the ball away from Danny Lay. And a last gasp tackle there from Danny Rowe to deny a chance on goal for the home side. Spalding receives the ball on the right. Spalding crosses in, and Ardalian heads over the bar. For Quorn, headed clear and fired goalwards, and that had Masfari diving across his goal. It's a decent effort and a decent crowd in here. A lot of them are in this main stand here seeking shelter from the very hot sunshine at Farley Way this afternoon. Over the top, headed on by Ardalian. Kieran Banks. Johnson leaves it for Ardalian. Picked up by Bartliff. Out to Spalding. Bartliff. Johnson. Banks, and he's fouled on the edge of the area. So Banks and Johnson over this free kick. It's going to be Banks. It takes a deflection, but Laban's able to hold it. Free throw in for Redcar. Now fired across the area. Ardalian. Hawkins. Banks. Hawkins. Banks fires it in and headed over again. Frizzell for the home side. Reaney. Campbell Rice, and it's going to be a corner for Quorn. So it's the manager Ryan Bezic with the first corner of the game for the home side. And he's taking his time over it. Fires it in, and well held by Masfari. And another corner to Quorn, again to be taken by Bezic, as the home side enjoying more of the ball in the last 10 minutes. Again, everything very laboured at the moment, probably because of the extreme heat, and that's easy for Masfari. And the referee's blown for a free kick on the edge of the area. So it's going to be taken by Ryan Bezic, player manager. Dangerous position this. Bezic goes for goal, and it's actually easy for Masfari. It was a pretty tame effort. So throw in to Quorn as we enter 1 minute of added time. Nathan Guru, by the way, just collected a booking for the Steelmen. Johnson. And that is the half-time whistle here at the Farley Way Stadium. It's been a first half of very few clear-cut chances. The closest anyone come was when Andre Ardelane struck the woodwork, but we go here with the scoreline of Quorn 0, Redcar Athletic 0. Half-time then, Quorn 0, Redcar Athletic 0, and it's been a game of very few chances really. I think both sides struggling with the heat to a degree, and also in the 3G conditions, probably a tough surface for Redcar to play on. I was on the pitch before the game. It's actually red hot to actually touch the pitch, and that's obviously having an impact on the game as well. So not much fluency out there. You can see that both the players are struggling, both sets of players are struggling in the heat as well. So let's hope it cools down a bit in the second half and we can see a bit more football, see what happens in the second 45. And we're back underway here at Farley Way. No further changes, although having said that, it looks as if we've got Madhu Cisse on for Quorn, and there's been no reduction in heat either, unfortunately. Bezic on the ball on the left, into Frizzell, the captain, and an off-target effort from Ethan Bojang. Ardelean on the right for Redcar. Now Spalding. Spalding through to Ardelean. Across and just wide from Owen Burns, and that was a good opening for the Steelmen. Free kick to the Steelmen out on the left. Plant lift. Burns, Spalding, Ardelean, and his effort charged down for a corner. Banks with the latest Steelman corner. And the referee not happy with something in the middle again. And now Banks can deliver. Banks fires it in and headed clear and hooked clear by Campbell Rice. Come on, ref. And all a bit scrappy. Johnson round to Spalding. Spalding, and he scuffs his shot wide. Ardelean round the corner, and it's going to be a corner. So Banks with the latest Redcar corner, and that's easy for Laban. Quorn on the attack, and a good save by Masfari at the expense of the corner. Bezic then with the latest corner for the home side. Fires it very high to the far post, and it's in! It's into the net from Mason Frizzell, the captain, and it's the first goal conceded in the league this season for the Steelmen. It was a very long corner, and Frizzell got on the end of it. It's 1-0 here at Farley Way. Boys, one back. Fuster out to Johnson. And Johnson fires wide. Thanks. And Curtis round and round. Round. Smith. Fletcher. Fires it in. And it's in there. It's in by Adam Boyes. He scores his first goal of the season. And the Steelmen are level here at Farley Way. It is Quorn 1, Redcar Athletic 1. Banks crosses. Fletcher back across goal. Boyes. And a brilliant save. A superb save from Laban. And another corner to the Steelmen. A corner to Redcar. And headed goalward, but that's easy for Laban. And there's a sending off here after a second yellow card has been shown to Jaden Samuel Lawrence Lowther, and he's got a long name, and now he's also got a long walk back to the pavilion as Quorn are down to 10 for the last few minutes of this game. We've got 3+ injury left, and Farley does well to intercept at the feet of Campbell Rice, and now Redcar on the counter, all through to Adam Boyes. And it's good defending from the home side there, who clear it to safety. Oscar Fletcher, and his efforts blocked. Bartlett, Boyes, now Hawkins, Curtis round, fires it in, and that's taken out of the air by Laban. Goes for goal, and it's just wide of the target. So Kieran Banks, the corner, and headed over by Danny Lay, and that is the last action, the last chance of the game. And Redcar return with a point on the road. It finishes here at Farley Way with a scoreline of Quorn 1, Redcar Athletic 1. So I've been joined after the game by Steelmen manager Carl Jarrett. Carl, a point on the road in the blistering heat. What did you make of that one?
A frustrating watch, if I'm being honest with you. I didn't think that we played our best today. You know, come away with another point away on the road, and some people might think that, you know, first time in this league and getting a point. I just thought we let ourselves down today, you know, in certain areas. I didn't think we passed the ball well enough, didn't take our chances when we had them. You know, it just looked like a slow, lethargic performance off my team today. I've had to make the changes. I thought we were quite bright at the end, the last 10-15 minutes. Like I said, the lads there, I don't know if that was because of the subs, you know, brightening it up. I'll give them that one, or they were down to 10 men. So it was a bit of a frustrating one. You know, point to point, as you said. But I thought that these might have been here for taking the day without disrespecting them. The way we started quite brightly in the first half, and then we let them into it. And then when they scored the goal off a corner, you know, it's a good set play. The lad's been left at the back. I think Danny's been held, he's talking about there, and you know, he's got a free header off, and they've got 1-0 up, and I thought that the tails were up and they could have had another one. You know, lads showed a little bit of character. We've made the changes, and we've got back into the game, and we've drawn them, and literally with our chances on another day, if they go in, you know, you win in this game easily and comfortably. But I guess that's why we love the game of football, because it can be very frustrating at times as well as joyful.
And do you think the 3G pitch played a part today? It was quite heavy out there, and it was already very hot, and that contributed to the game being slowed down a lot this afternoon.
Yeah, it can be sticky. I get that. I get the balls can be sticky when you're trying to pass the ball around fluently, but I still do certain ways. You know, you look at our goal, how we got in. The ball wasn't rolling across the floor. The ball got put in, little ball, nice ball straight over the top of the Boise, 1-on-1 bang goal. you don't have to keep playing football just trying to 4G sometimes. You know, there's certain ways to win games, and when you're looking at them defensively, what we spoke about watching the Clay game, where the weaknesses were, you know, it was in them areas, you know, the set plays that we spoke about, the balls in good areas, channel balls for our centre forwards to run onto, you know, and we just didn't do things certainly right in the first, let's just say, after 20 minutes, you know, the half time, I thought we were miles off. You know, I've asked the lads in there, we need that little bit more. It's an eye opener for us. I know we've got 5 points out of 9, but my expectation as a manager, I'm allowed to say that I was expecting more points.
Okay, well, we have to turn things around quickly again because Lancaster City come to Green Lane on Tuesday. What are you expecting from that one?
Very tough game. Jimmy's got a good side down there. I think they just missed out the playoffs last year, something like that. It'll be a tough test, you know. It's for the lads now to understand, you know, how tough this level is. I think they've got an awakening there. You know, I know we've won one and we've drew two. We've had two half decent performances, you know, along the way with Bury and obviously the win the other day on Tuesday. So, you know, we've got to try and take a few positives out of this game today. You know, have a little think about what we're going to do, team selection and formation side of things, and you know, hopefully at home in Green Lane we've got a good support on Tuesday night against Lancaster, because it'll be a very, very tough game.
All right, cheers, Carl. Thanks. So it finished Quorn 1, Redcar Athletic 1, and firstly, apologies for some of the camera work, particularly in the second half for that coverage. It was so hot and the sun was shining so intensely in Leicestershire yesterday afternoon that I literally couldn't see my screen for the entirety of at least an hour of the match. And so I had no idea what was going on. I was pointing the phone generally in the direction of play and just hoping for the best, really, because I just couldn't see anything on the screen at all. It was that bright, and it made things very difficult, especially when I had to do substitutions and everything on the league app, because it was impossible to see anything. So with that in mind, I think it is fair to say, you know, that the conditions did make a difference yesterday. I totally accept what Carl said at the end of the game there, that he was disappointed with the result, and I agree that you know, we looked a superior side to Quorn on the day, and you can definitely make a case for saying that if we played them in November, December on a wet night or something like that, it would have been a completely different result. Maybe would have won the game comfortably, who knows. But I suppose the other side of that is that Quorn are very much in a rebuild phase right now, and playing them later in the season, you know, they may have gelled together and improved significantly, because there were certainly a lot of signs from everyone that I spoke to that they'd moved on leaps and bounds just from Tuesday when they lost heavily to Cleethorpes. They brought a few more in. People starting to get to know each other. They brought a lone player in that added quite a lot of quality to them. So who knows? You know, you can always ask these hypothetical questions. Most people would look at 5 points from those opening 3 games, I would think, and be reasonably happy. I think, having seen all 3 games on the balance of play, I tend to agree with Carl that I think 7 out of 9 would have been an accurate return to the amount of play that we've actually had in each of the games, because we dominated possession in both of the last 2 games. Yes, we didn't dominate possession against Bury, and so for that one you'd have to say that probably a draw was a fair result in that opening game. But we did enough possession-wise to win the other 2 games, and I guess you have to say that our quality wasn't good enough in the vital areas to get the 3 points from both of those games, whereas last season for the majority of the time it was. So obviously there's plenty to work on in training, which I'm sure will be the case, but of course there won't be a training session before the next game because it's Tuesday night. As far, I must say something about the home side, because they were excellent hosts. You know, don't often talk about hospitality. Sometimes it's because if you haven't got anything nice to say, it's best not to say nothing at all, which has been the case at some clubs that I'm not going to mention. But I think when very good hospitality is offered, it's a good thing to flag it up. And Quorn were absolutely superb hosts from start to finish yesterday. They were a very, very nice club indeed, very nice people behind the scenes, and I wish them nothing for but the best for the rest of the season. I know that they're in a very difficult position because obviously they were transferred leagues against their will, and from having been playing in a league where they had mainly local, relatively local fixtures, to suddenly they're the most southerly team in the league and almost every journey is miles north, which obviously caused them to lose a lot of their squad. That's not easy for them at all. You know, they're coping with that cheerfully and well, and I genuinely hope that they can rally around and you know, stabilise things this season, and then maybe, hopefully, depending on who goes up and down, they can get transferred back to the division that they would much rather be playing in next season. So that is yesterday's game, and the next game on this channel is indeed that next Redcar match, which is this Tuesday. We've got a lot of firsts this season because almost every game is going to be against opposition that we haven't faced before, and so it's the case on Tuesday the 18th of August when we entertain Lancaster City at Green Lane in the Northern Premier League Premier Division. So join me again for that one, and until then, as ever, thanks for watching Just a Sec TV.